thing, how's the transition been for you going from one Pac-12 school to the other?
Oh, it's been seamless. And it sounds, I'd say that, actually, truthfully, when you got people in the building that that you got a great relationship with, it makes the transition very easily. Brett and I have been worked upon the same system before, so some of our language, may have changed, but we can bring each other right back to, the genesis of our system, the system that we all come from. So it's been a really smooth transition, and when it hasn't been verbiage-wise, Brett's been able to kind of just bring me back to the system that we've worked in the past and really make sure the information correlates.
We got to see some of the young corners make some plays in the scrimmage. Is that kind of indicative of what's been happening during camp?
Well, I feel like they're all young. When you think about everybody in the room, no one has over 200 snaps of football. And, to me, you kind of mature once you get over 250, 300 snaps, under your belt when you start to recognize certain situations. So I kind of see them all as being young guys right now. But it's good to see those guys. And the best thing about them, they show up with a growth mindset each day. Hungry for coaching, never turning it away, and it really just forcing me to really give them more and more each day by coming up for extra time, extra meeting, extra film. So establishing the culture in that room of setting standards of really doing more, as our standard in the room is starting to really materialize itself as we go forward.
Nigel Bethel and Jalen Stryker are the two old men in the cornerbacks room. Both of them had their seasons last year ended due to injury. What are you seeing out of those two guys from just an evaluation perspective and just your initial impressions of those two?
Well, obviously, when you got guys that have been around the program for a long time, they know the ins and outs. They've been around football games, they've been around the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens. So I think for them, some of those guys are actually nursing back the injury still, not necessarily back full strength. Some of those guys are actually still moving around a little bit in a limited capacity. But I think the one thing you see their maturity. Right, being able to adjust and really learn some of the new nuances that we're doing in terms of our defense that we're bringing in, being able to help some of those younger guys. So I'm eager to get Nigel back and get him back moving around. He's not there just yet. He's still working and work in progress. And then, Jalen's actually moving around. He's doing some things here, communicating, starting to get back in the flow of things.
After the scrimmage on Saturday, Nico said he feels like the guys in that room have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder just because Makai left and Gonzo left, and maybe the outside perception is that, they don't have quality corners in that room. Have you sensed that kind of edge?
To be honest, we don't talk about the people that's not here. Wise man once told me you don't speak on things that don't come to your front table, that don't affect how you eat. But I think for them, they have a huge crack on their shoulder to prove themselves. Not to me, not to fans, not to the program, but to themselves. That they're everything that they said they are, right? So they're in that process of really putting in the work, tightening up the details and where they need to go. And I don't think it's necessarily about what's happening with anyone else not being here. I think it's more so them trying to establish themselves, seeing it as equal opportunity for everybody around. So I think they take it as a challenge. They see there's not many older guys around. Hey, why not me? Right now it's time to step up and be able to contribute, for winning plays.
Guys like Josh Wiggins seem to come with a lot of confidence. How important is that for a corner, first off, and then also having that confidence as a true freshman? How big is that for the team?
I think it's huge. For us, we never really want to focus on the results of the play, the results of the game. In our room's culture is that we're going to have a response-driven, room. That's our culture, that we're going to respond to everything. Good, bad, indifferent. We make a play, respond. It never happened. You miss a play, respond. It never happened. So I think for us, it starts there. But some of that confidence is innate, right? Some of that you just can't, you can't coach that. Some of those guys have those abilities. But Josh is a person that he has an infectious personality. He's still learning and growing each day. But he does have that confidence that he carries along with him. Very excited about where he is. Equally excited about Jason Oliver as well and where he is in his development, a late get. I think that kid's going to be a really good player, and it was a really good late sign for us. So I'm very excited about those young guys. It could be a headache sometimes, but it's also very challenging and very, very fun, to coach a young room. They don't have many bad habits, so it's like unmolded clay that you can kind of really mold a player into the culture that we want to be for our program.
One more. And then for you, is it a fun challenge as a veteran coach to be coaching a group like this to where, you can develop them into kind of what you guys need as an offense or as a defense, and just is it a fun challenge for you as a coach?
No doubt. Everybody, it's easy to coach the good players. It's easy to coach the veterans at times. But, I took this job for 3 reasons. One, for Carl Durrell and who the man he is. 2, to get an opportunity to work with Brett Maxey, who's my mentor. And 3, I feel like I can make a positive impact on not only the secondary but in the defense. Bringing my philosophical beliefs in here, not only from a cover standpoint but also from the front. And being able to kind of throw these things together, and really that's what spring football is for, and experiment and really just kind of develop our skill set, develop our scheme, and see what we're good at, self-scouted when we come off the road, recruiting, and then kind of build a system from there. So I'm excited about where we are. We're still adding pieces in there, but, excited to see young guys moving around, playing with confidence, and, and our team is growing. They're growing that bond, and that's only going to happen with time spent. So excited about where we are right now, excited to grow the room forward.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all. Appreciate you, man.